I'm gonna try to not make this. Oh crap. It's on, right? My headset? I think so. Oh man, I got this game. I just picked it up today. It was on sale, half price. I mean, it's as cheap as it's gonna get. Like, it came out, it's like 30 bucks. I'm like, I remember back in the day seeing it. I'm like thinking to myself, well, I might as well emulate it. And like emulating Sega Saturn is a pain in the ass. Well, I don't know why this game runs slower than it does on a Pentium 500 64 megs of RAM. Gigs, I was about to say. Gigs, megs of RAM, megabytes. The old ass computer, and it ran way better on that thing than on a PlayStation 5. Like, I was fighting this boss and I was trying to get footage for it, but the slowdown was insane. And I'm like, holy shit. So no wonder the Sega Saturn, didn't do so well. Because this is an emulation, like perfectly emulating the game from, well, but I just got through watching a video from Tal Oran, the traveling clat, the Arab Jew, cool guy. And I don't like to chime in on like the whole Israel-Palestine conflict, although I do have a lot of vocal things to say about it. Um, Generally, when things don't involve my culture, me, and specificity, although like it does involve me with like, oh, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I got my controller. Actually, I'm just gonna switch off. I mean, what's the point of like, whatever. Okay. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I hear my voice and it sounds so much more fruitier on the controller. It's like I sound like I'm from Toronto, which I technically am, but I'm like from North York, so yeah, like, and it was this hard video to watch about these I want to call them activists. I think they call themselves either Red Cross or just like some form of charity. Sorry, like my mouth is a little dry. And they went to Palestine to do the good things that people do in the country of Palestine. You know, give food, medical attention, ask if anybody needs any kinds of special medications or whatever, see what they can do to help them. And it was a little hard to watch because it's one of those things where you're dealing with like a group of people that are just so ignorant and so like backloaded with like their own indoctrination. Because he was doing both. Like Tal was doing the interview with this lady, Palestinian lady. Damn. I mean, I know I'm gonna get off a little off topic, but no wonder they invade the Jewish people. You got women that look like this, and like you can see the shadow between her eyebrows, like where they like fucking hair removing and shit. And I got some hair that grows between my eyebrows too, and like I got some like where my scar is on my left cheek, ingrown hairs, because like when they did the sewing, they just like squeezed it. Canadian hospitals at their finest, and like so these people go there, with the mission to help people, figure things out. Maybe like, get a photo op for the DNC, for the Democratic Party to show that like, we're on the right side of history. And what's the right side of history? Yo, monkey, slave, N-word, Negro, kafir. Like, what happened? What happened? Like 50-50, right? That's how I see it. 50-50. They are racist, or they're just gassing the black people up to like, not gassing, what do they call it? Setting them up to like, get violent or get confrontational with people because it's just like, they got to experience this level of racism. And like, from a brown guy's perspective, like brown people, well, at least on the East Indian side, they're starting to get what this is like, see what this is like. And in fact, I would go as far as to say, in terms of throwing insults,
right? Like you can call black people poor and like, whatever, like angry, savage, whatever, right? But like, yo, the biggest L you gotta take is, man, so you don't know how to use a fucking toilet, you know? And then like you gotta take that shit with you to the grave and stuff. And that's why these Punjabis try to like push that off on us. Because it's like when they got caught, like multiple times, they were literally making like signs where guys with turbans on were like taking a shit. Don't pick up after you scoop after you poop, some type of shit. And it was like to clown them and stuff, but it was like then they tried to like push that off on us. So it's like from the black person's perspective to see that kind of racism where you're left without the filter of like people running up on other people and like the law and like the media just like running with it and then like sorry about this like really boring gameplay. Like I haven't played this game in so long. I don't even know what I'm doing. Well, okay, so back on topic, right? So they're experiencing this level of racism, and that's okay. I mean, no, it's not okay. Like obviously you don't need to be subjecting yourself to that, right? Like if you're there to help and you're just being like chewed out, just like picked on, and like obviously you don't need to be there anymore, right? And this girl who's making this video just does not understand that like their people are the bottom of the barrel. Like this is it for evolution on the evolutionary scale. You don't get any higher, right? You're just stuck there because you're here telling these black people, yo, you gotta take this racism because these Palestinians, we're more oppressed than you are. Like what's more oppressive than having a dad picking up a little baby? Yo, baby, go over there and like run over to those Israeli soldiers and stuff. Try to guilt trip them and stuff. Dog, we don't. I don't think I should or anybody should ever feel guilt for the R type reproductive strategy. Japanese people, they're extremely brilliant. Extremely good, brilliant. Bleh. I'm gonna do a video because I want to do like actual research about the whole AI, and then when it tricks you and it becomes like you can't tell the difference. There's this Japanese guy from the '80s who predicted that would happen, and it's like it's pretty interesting. But more to the case, they made this game called R-Type, and you fight all these like alien bugs, whatever. And it's just like old arcade game, but it actually has a meaning. And I don't think like the creators, like I think they're trying to do something like Ray type or something like that, and that's why you use R type because there's like three types of prisms. You have the red, blue, yellow. They do different like weapon attacks for your spaceship. It's a simple game, and they're like, I'm actually waiting for R-type tactics to come out. But like, the R-type reproductive strategy basically means you reproduce like ants or termites or insects, where you just like lay tons and tons of eggs. Or in the case of human beings, is you have tons and tons of kids, and you don't necessarily care about raising any of them, and that's why you have this absentee like mania, like all these people and then Tal did another like I think it was an older one where this American I think journalist or something went to Palestine to interview these people and they were getting pissed at him, right? Because he's showing the video of like the October 7th attack and the Palestinians are just like, no, they deserve it. They deserve to die. All deserve to die. It was like, okay, cool. And this interview was done pretty much I don't know, like maybe a few weeks, a month after the October 7th attack. Well, actually, I don't know. Because it's like, if he's doing that interview and the attack has already occurred, wouldn't there have been a war breaking out? Like, I gotta go. Actually, I'm watching it right now. What the fuck? I could just go over it. Okay, so from what I could see in the video, yeah, it's just. Oh, my bad. Gotta turn that volume down. So, from what I can see in the video, right? Um, yeah, it's a interview that was back in the day, and this interview with this lady is very very recent with I don't know, charity Red Cross or whatever going in. So Yeah, and look, the funniest thing is how they indoctrinate the kids, the little ass kids, because that's how you know you're a coward, weakling cause. You're weak people, and when you ultimately meet your end, it's by your own hands. And like this is what this whole thing is about. Like everybody's doing this. Everybody's doing this to each other. They're doing it to their own children. They're doing it to other ethnicities. They're doing it to other races, religions. Right? They're making each other dance. They're assuming they're like, monkeys dance for me, monkey dance. You see these kids holding up these rockets. You see this one kid like, taking a knife and like decapitating the head of like a plush toy. And it's like, okay, cool, cool. No, just say no. Just say no. No refugees, no immigrants, nothing. This is what I meant by the Oh, sorry, not the circumvision. Well, circumvision of natural selection, but like, um, what was I gonna say? The annexation of the incels. Yeah, dog, you got your land now, which like Gaza's gonna get settled by the Israelis. It's too dangerous to have you guys there. Like you guys are mentally handicapped. Like this girl is literally saying to black people, "Yo, take the racism. It's okay. Like as long as you understand, like the Palestinians have to win." So like when the smoke is settles and the dust is cleared, and like let's say in the most idealistic situation, either the Jews are wiped out or they have to leave. Like they can't maintain the land of Israel. They just said, you can have it. Um, do you think those people from the Red Cross, this charity or whatever, do you think they're going to be treated better from the Palestinians now that the Israelis are gone? Like, oh, like it was the Israelis' fault that the Palestinians were racist against black people. And the funny thing about black people is like they never ask themselves who made them slaves in the first place, right? And I think they know the answer to that, and it's an uncomfortable question, right, to pose because you can fight white people, right, and they care about losing their lives, but an Arab guy will like stick his head out of a truck, with a baby and a bomb like a bomb vest strapped to that baby and like chuck that baby at you, and you think to yourself, wait, what? Trevin, that's a little extreme. There's pictures, there's videos, there's everything, and you think it's just them. The kids themselves, they want to kill you, and the women, everybody wants to kill you. It's like that one movie with Samuel L. Jackson, and he's just like holding the line, and all these guys are just like pulling out guns and shooting at him. And he's like, waste them, motherfuckers, waste them, motherfuckers. It's funny how, quickly the world U-turns, right? You go from, badass Samuel L. Jackson. I think he was the most wasted actor in episode 2 and 3. Even though every single scene he was in, that was the best. When he chopped off Django Fett's head, oh man, that was so cool. Because okay, at least to me, up until then, you never saw that in Star Wars. You know what I mean? Up until then, you never saw that in Star Wars, especially when all the Jedi pull out the lightsabers, and it was so cool, man. It was so cool. Like the potential of Star Wars and the fact that they squandered it, and then like look what Samuel L. Jackson is now. He's Nick Fury, right? Okay, and like even though he's a good actor, whatever, he's a side character, he doesn't, he's just whatever. This is the game that we play with our minorities. We use them when we need them. They're nice and loud for us, but when we don't need them anymore, they can't dance. Find another monkey, put in a cage, put a suit on them, these little cymbal tambourines, put a little like thing crank in their bag, wind them up, make them dance. See, I'm allowed to say that because my people, I think we enslaved ourselves, though. We enslaved other like Indians, brown people. But I don't think we enslaved anybody. But like, I'm allowed to say that. I never had slaves, but I had to make this video, man. I mean, it's funny how Sean the Black and like all these black people are used by this like group of people as no future, nothing for them. It's kind of like how the DNC kind of like garnishes the votes or wants to garnish the votes of black people in order to further their like political stance or whatever, but doesn't actually care about black people at all. Anyways, thanks for this video. Thanks for watching my video. Thanks for this video. I'm gonna thank myself. All right, take care, everybody.